Guys, how are you doing today? For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Deb Acker. I'm an intuitive life coach. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including love and abundance. And I am all about truth, which is why every single week we have a Truth Thursday. And when I talk about truth, what I really talk about, what I'm really talking about is really being true to ourselves, right? So really, really honoring ourselves, really, really owning who we came here to be, not settling in our lives, even if the not settling choice might be hard, even though it might be difficult. And in today's Truth Thursday, I want to actually talk about something that's been coming up for me around truth. And one of the things that's happening, and one of my old patterns, is very much wanting everybody else's opinion. So I don't know how many people can relate to that, but for me, that's one of my biggest patterns. Is like, okay, I used to think everybody besides me had all the answers, right? And so I would ask them for what I needed to ask myself, right? I'd ask them for, okay, what should I do in this moment? What is the right thing for me in this moment? And other people's opinions, other people's advice is very helpful. It's great. But the thing is, one of the biggest keys to really tuning into your truth and tuning into what is right for you is going within, right? And so this situation actually came up for me today as I'm restructuring my business and figuring out, like, I've got my group, my Living in Your Truth pattern breaking group program coming out soon. And I've got my one-on-one coaching, and I've been just really feeling in and trying to get really, really quiet on what is going to serve the most amount of people, right? And what I'm aligned with, right? Because so many times, and this is a huge thing, especially if you're in business, so for anyone that's in business right now, or anyone that's trying to create something, trying to attract people to serve, that one of the biggest secrets that most people don't really think about or don't factor in, so most of us are wired to do what we think will attract our audience, right? I mean, that's a really, really common one. I have something in my hand here, but I'm totally guilty of that myself. And I will tell you that that actually doesn't work, and it's something, like I said, I've had to really rewire that within myself, because I used to always be like, okay, what's gonna get the biggest results here? And in the process, sometimes that would mean that what I was doing was out of alignment with what actually felt good to me, what actually felt right to me. And so today, like I said, as I'm restructuring my programs, all of my offerings, one-on-one, my group program, all of those good things, as I'm doing those and putting those together and putting those out in the world, and as I'm focused on serving the biggest amount of people, because you guys, I have to tell you, like, I, more than anything, anyone that feels called to this work, anyone that feels called and is wanting support, I am here for you. And I really, like, sincerely, with every ounce of my being, I want to help you. I want to help you to take that journey. And so as I was thinking about this, I had a call with one of my coaches, and she gave me some great advice. And then the key for me, so some of it was really great, and I was like, oh my gosh, and there's some things for me to sit with, and there's some things for me to really, really think about, and really, really think about what is aligned for me. And a piece of that for me is all around my packages, the packages that I offer, and even the pricing that I'm currently offering. And so, I'm just sitting with that right now, right? So I'm not taking her, what she's saying, what she's telling me, as the Bible, as the absolute truth, right? Like, I'm sitting with what's the best way to honor myself? What's the best way that I can really tune into what is right for me and follow that? Because, as in anything in life, once you get into that alignment, you get into that flow, right? You get into, all of a sudden, say for instance in business, you're attracting people versus having to effort so hard for it, versus having to work so hard for it. So I mean, that's one area that applies, but also like in, you know, in relationship, right? As you get into your own alignment, as you start to honor yourself and honor every piece of you, right? Honor your wackiness, honor your pain, honor all those things, and love that about you. I mean, one of the patterns that came up on the worthiness call this week, and it came up in one of my groups that I'm in, is a pattern. Many people have the pattern of being too much. And myself included at times, like I've had that, you know, and especially too, like if you're a spiritual being and you're an empath, and, you know, we've been trained to hide, we've been trained to kind of contract our bodies and everything, and that can be one of, hi Piper, thanks so much for joining. And so we're just talking today about truth and really honoring our choices and really getting into alignment. But, you know, we can be so, you know, this pattern that I'm talking about around being too much, we can be so conditioned to that. We can be so conditioned to it, and then we end up hiding ourselves, right? Or we move ourselves out of alignment, out of what our truth is, to try to fit into a box, right? To try to fit into the groups of people we hang out with, fit into our world, fit into the corporate world, fit into the box of, you know, if you're trying to attract that relationship, fit into that box. And what ends up happening is it doesn't work. Let me tell you, it's one of those things where all of a sudden, you know, we end up efforting a ton more, and it doesn't actually end up attracting anything of what we are wanting to attract. And so my guidance to anybody out there that's having that question, right, and that's looking outside of themselves for those answers, right, that's going to, whether you're going to coaches, you're going to programs, you're going to your friends, wherever it is that you are looking for that guidance, that is awesome. And once you get that guidance, tune in and ask yourself, am I aligned with this? If it's something related to your business, is this something that if it was part of my business that I would, hi Tony, if this is something that if it was part of my business, I would buy based on everything. Not, is this something that everyone else would buy, which if you can notice, there's a nuance there, right? You know, so many times we do get programmed around, is this something someone else would want? Instead of, is this something, like, instead of that focus, instead of that focus of really creating it for you, and then honoring, owning, taking in that is going to attract the perfect people, right? That is going to attract the exact people that you want to attract. And so what I'm doing today, as you can see, I've got this beautiful lake, or it's a river. I'm behind a river, the Chicago River. But what I'm doing today is really taking time to get quiet and taking time to get present, because I got all this great advice on my coaching call, and then I'm like, all right, what's really true for me? Where am I out of alignment on what I got, and where am I in alignment, and how am I going to incorporate those to really get into full alignment? So, and you can see it's cool. On the Chicago River, you can actually go, I don't know if you can see the guy behind me. On the Chicago River, though, you can go like kayaking, canoeing, all sorts of things. And so, yeah, that is my guidance. That is my advice to you. So in the comments below, tell me, where have you taken someone else's advice and maybe not followed your own gut, followed your own intuition? Where are you out of truth in your life? And where are you needing guidance? Where are you needing support? And where are you not taking that time to get really, quiet, to get really present with yourself and really own what you know to be true versus owning what everyone is telling you your truth is? So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm going to finish my walk, but sending you much love, and I will look forward to connecting with you tomorrow. Much love.